Hello and welcome to Steps to Success, where we believe as long as your heart is in every step, then you are already a success. My name is D'Angelo Simmons, and today we're going to go through how to stay motivated while cold calling, a review of our guy, Mr. TTP, Brent Daniels. And without me speaking too much about it, let's go ahead and get right into it.
Are you out there making call after call after call and you're kind of getting a little bit frustrated? Maybe your motivation's kind of getting chipped away little by little and you're like, oh my gosh, is this going to work? Does it make sense to spend my time, my free time making all these calls to like live my dream of being a real estate investor?
Man, do I know about that? I remember first coming in and thinking like, man, call after call after call, getting my first deal. Like, how many calls does it take to get my first deal? How many licks to get to the center of the lollipop, right? But I did certain things. I came up with certain mental, games that I played with myself to make sure I stayed on my, journey ultimately. And I'm gonna share that with you today, along with, what Brent is talking about in this video.
Well, check out this clip from the live show. This is going to really break down what I want you to go through mentally when you're going through this process. Check this out. Switch it in your brain that you say, okay, it's a struggle right now. I'm not getting a tremendous amount of leads, but I know that I'm just closer to the deal that is going to happen.
Right there, switch it in your brain. Guys, I like to say, you hear the term with life being, 80% mental, 20% skill. I feel like it's like 100% mental, especially when you're dealing with this, real estate investing, wholesaling process. I feel like it's 100% mental in all areas, but especially here. So one thing that I did with myself in the beginning and still do is that when I'm cold calling and I hear a no, I get very excited when I hear a no, because it means that I'm getting very close to a yes. And especially get excited when I hear they tell me no because the property has already sold to somebody else. That to me, and that should to you, shouldn't let you be aware that you're this close to somebody selling you the property, the fact that they told you that they sold it to somebody else, okay?
I know that I'm just one conversation. I know that I have now had a conversation that is building up my experience. It's building up my confidence. You're going through all these things, right? Every time you talk to somebody new, you're learning. Every time you're talking to somebody new, you're getting that experience. And that experience translates into every part of your life. But Brent, I'm an introvert. Brent, I'm not used to talking.
Guys, stay right there real quick. That experience transport, like it really does in every area of your life. Once you get comfortable with cold calling, you'll notice more confidence in just speaking with people in a lot of areas of life. But also, guys, you learn something literally from every conversation, whether it be about how to get better on the next call, or whether it be about yourself, or whether the person that you're speaking with. Now, you don't have to stay on the phone with them for 20 minutes to, learn that somebody's been investing in real estate for 20 years. So little things like that can inspire you along your journey because, you're speaking with people that are doing what you want to do and doing what you are doing.
Talking to that many people. I don't have that much endurance. I'm kind of shy. Great. Guess what happens when you talk to 1,000 strangers about their property? All of a sudden, you're not shy to talk to people anymore. All of a sudden, you are tapped in and you are like, oh my gosh, this is like opening up so much in my life because I'm being louder. I've always felt that I had something to say, that I was important, that I was intelligent, that I was kind, that I could bring a lot of empathy and gratitude to this world, but I just don't have the voice to be able to do that. But you do.
Guys, when you start speaking with people, like you said, you start realizing a lot about yourself from the standpoint of, for one thing that's very interesting for me is how much disrespect you're able to tolerate from somebody. I made a whole video about it. If you'd like to see more, click the video up there. But how much disrespect that you're able to tolerate and still remain professional and still remain motivated to continue along on the next call. Little things like that, guys, it's really priceless because you can teach that. You cannot teach that type of, motivation and also that type of resiliency to get cussed out and then continue calling, to really not know. Like, there's no KPI to really say, key performance indicator to say if you make, 100 calls, you'll get 2 deals. To really not have no specifics and to still keep going, you cannot teach that type of resilient, discipline, persistence. You're one of one.
You do. Just practice it. Just make
practice.
the calls. Make the calls. And listen, if you need to go 15 minutes and stop. Next day, do 20 minutes and stop.
Right.
30 minutes and stop. An hour and stop. And then at some point, you're going to get 3 hours and it's going to feel like a breathe.
You got to pace yourself. It's all about your breathing. Guys, that's real in every area of life. You have to pace yourself. It's all about your breathing. See, like I'm referring to all areas of life, but I actually am a firm believer that how you are in one area of life is how you are in all areas of life. And that's just with everything. And with, with this being your career, if you're serious about this in your career, it's easier to, understand that, because how you are in your career can, transfer to at home and other relationships. But just understand that this is good, because if you take initiative and if you are resilient in this part and it's going to pay off, then you'll recognize that if you're like this in any other area of life, then it will pay off.
And it's going to be part of your life. And
guys, I used to cold call when I first started. It would be about like hour and a half, and then I worked my way up to 2 hours, and that'd be like right after work. And then after that, I would have to go. Like currently, I go and I call 3 hours a day, and it is a breeze. It's literally a breeze, and it's just that stamina, working your way up. Put it like this: would you rather, go and run a sprint, right? So run a sprint, being call 50 people in the first day of your, cold calling journey, and then you stop, right? So you call that first 50 and you keep that up for 3 days, and then the following week you're not even calling, right? You wore yourself out. Or would you rather call like 10 every day, right? Call 10 every day and then build up that momentum slowly. Peep the lead tracker as well.
you're just going to be unstoppable at that point. So thank you, Santino. And the first part of that comment, listen, I don't do anything unless you guys are taking action. I'm just the guide here. You guys are the heroes for sure. I'm not just saying that. Like literally nothing happens unless you guys are taking action. So I'm just here to make sure that the mystery of real estate is unveiled, and you understand that it's really just about just talking to people.
And Brent does a great job at that, making the mystery of real estate unveiled. Because one thing that's ironic, guys, when I first started about wholesaling real estate, I was watching TTP, Brent Daniels, King Kong, Max Maxwell, all those like videos. I would watch it to put in actionable steps, right? So I would watch something so I can implement it the day after. But what is awesome about what he just said, guys, no matter what you do, you'll become better. And it's ironic that me years later, I'm now reviewing one of Brent Daniels' videos after gaining my own audience with Steps to Success. But that just goes to show how putting one foot, one step after the other, keeping your heart in it along the journey, you can really take you a long way. Because when your heart is in it, you don't really feel like there's some end destination. You're not in a rush. You're enjoying the journey. And that's what I teach you guys here with Steps to Success. Make sure that you are ultimately enjoying the journey. Everything that I'm talking about can all, sound great. You might even be motivated to actually go make some calls after this. But the motivation is just that goes in and out, as you already probably know. So forget the motivation, guys. Stay disciplined. That's what I teach you guys. Stay disciplined. What he said, what we're telling you guys, through the screen, through the phone, it sounds good, guys, but at the same time, it doesn't work unless you implement it. I believe what he was telling me, a couple years ago, to go ahead and get my first deal and, to be full-time real estate investing for 2.5 years. That's just me believing what he said, 2.5 years ago. And, now I'm here reviewing a video. So maybe one of these days you guys will review one of my videos because you believe what I'm telling you, but not just believe it, you implement it. You about that action. As always, get to stepping.